The ballroom glittered with crystal chandeliers and elegant black guests in designer gowns and tuxedos. Maya Brooks stood near the entrance, feeling completely out of place at the Silvercrest Foundation Gala. At 25, with her natural hair styled in an elegant twist-out. She was a social worker who lived paycheck to paycheck. This world of wealth and privilege was foreign territory. Her consignment dress, discount shoes with a marker-covered scuff, and borrowed clutch from her friend Jasmine marked her as an outsider among this crowd of successful black professionals. She was about to leave when she saw him. Ryan Carter, her ex-boyfriend, the man who had cheated on her with her former roommate, gaslit her and told her she would never amount to anything because she wasted her time on lost causes. He was a successful investment banker now, walking toward her with that same smug smile, his new girlfriend on his arm. A woman with flawless makeup and a dress that screamed money. Panic seized Maya's chest. She could not face his condescension tonight, could not bear to see the triumph in his eyes. Her gaze darted desperately and landed on a man standing alone nearby. He was a brother with deep mahogany skin, close-cropped hair with a perfect edge-up, and an air of quiet authority. He stood at least 6'2" in an immaculate midnight blue tuxedo. Without thinking, Maya walked up to him quickly. "Please," she whispered. "I need you to pretend to be my boyfriend for 5 minutes. My ex is coming over, and I cannot let him see me alone. I know this is crazy, but please." The man looked down at her, surprise flickering across his features. He was handsome, probably in his early 30s, with eyes that suggested he was already calculating several moves ahead. "Act like you love me," Maya added, her voice cracking. "Please, I'll explain after. But right now, I just need him to think I'm happy, that I've moved on." His expression shifted to something like understanding. Without a word, he slipped his arm around her waist and pulled her close. The warmth of his hand against the small of her back sent an unexpected shiver through her. His cologne was subtle, bergamot and cedar. Just as he pulled her against his side, Ryan approached. "Maya," Ryan said, genuine surprise in his voice. "I didn't think social workers could afford tickets to events like this." Before she could respond, the man beside her spoke. "This is my boyfriend," Maya said quickly. Adrian," the man supplied smoothly. "Adrian Holt, and you are?" "Ryan Carter," her ex said, shaking Adrian's hand while sizing him up. "How long have you two been together?" 3 months, Adrien said. "Best 3 months of my life, actually." He looked down at Maya with convincing warmth. "Maya is extraordinary. She's brilliant at her work, compassionate beyond measure, and she makes me want to be a better person every day. I had to pursue her for weeks before she said yes. She kept insisting she was too busy with her cases. But I finally convinced her that everyone deserves happiness, even people who spend all their time creating it for others." Maya felt her cheeks warm. The specific details made it sound so real. Ryan's smug expression faltered. "That's great," he managed. "Well, we should catch up sometime." "Perhaps," Adrien said coolly. "If you'll excuse us, I promised Maya a dance." He guided Maya onto the dance floor as smooth jazz filled the space. She was shaking, adrenaline and relief coursing through her. She placed trembling hands on his shoulders. "Thank you," she whispered. "I'm so sorry for ambushing you. I just panicked when I saw him, and you were standing there, and I didn't know what else to do." "I could see that," Adrien said gently. "That was your ex?" "Yes," Maya exhaled. "He cheated with my roommate, which meant I lost my apartment and my relationship at the same time. He made me feel crazy for being upset. Told me I was too sensitive, too demanding, and I couldn't face his judgment tonight. Couldn't let him see that I'm still alone while he's clearly moved on. Are you a social worker? Adrien asked with genuine interest rather than the disdain she usually heard. Maya nodded. I work with foster children, trying to find them permanent homes. I'm a case manager handling about 25 cases at a time, which is way too many, but we're understaffed. It doesn't pay much, barely covers my bills some months. But it matters. Ryan always said I was wasting my potential on people who couldn't help me get ahead. Adrian's jaw tightened. He's an idiot. What you do is more valuable than anything most people in this room do, including me. Those children need advocates who see them as more than statistics. What do you do? Maya asked. I run a company, Adrien said vaguely. It's not important. Tell me about your work. What made you choose this? They danced and talked, and Maya found herself relaxing in ways she hadn't in years. He asked intelligent questions, seemed genuinely interested. Never checked his watch or scanned the room for more important people. She told him about Destiny, an 8-year-old girl in 7 homes in 5 years who was starting to believe something was wrong with her. She told him about Marcus, a 17-year-old about to age out of the system with nowhere to go. Adrien listened to every word, asked follow-ups that showed he was really hearing her. When the song ended, Adrien said, "Would you like to stay longer? I'm supposed to be networking, but I'd much rather spend the evening with you." Are you sure? Maya asked. You don't have to keep pretending. Ryan's gone. I'm not pretending anymore, Adrien said quietly. I'm genuinely interested in getting to know you better, Maya Brooks. The way he said her name made something warm bloom in her chest. They spent the next 2 hours talking and dancing. When the evening ended, he walked her to her car, a 10-year-old Honda Civic with a dent in the passenger door, without a flicker of judgment. I'd like to take you to dinner, he said. A real date. Maya smiled. I'd like that too. Tomorrow night? Tomorrow's perfect. Over the next 3 weeks, Adrien and Maya saw each other regularly, and what had started as a desperate favor evolved into something unexpected. He took her to nice restaurants, but also to her favorite spot, Brood Awakening, a small black-owned coffee shop in her neighborhood, where they sat for hours over $5 lattes and Miss Carla's homemade pound cake. One evening, Adrien showed up at her small apartment with soul food takeout from a place she'd mentioned loving but rarely affording. I hope you don't mind, he said, holding up bags from Mama Lou's kitchen. I called your friend Jasmine and asked where you like to eat. She gave me a whole list. They sat on her worn couch, eating fried catfish, collard greens, and mac and cheese while Maya worked through case files. Adrien didn't seem to notice or care that her apartment was tiny, that her furniture was secondhand, that the walls were thin enough to hear neighbors arguing. Tell me about this one, he said, pointing to a file. Maya explained the complicated case of siblings who needed to be placed together, but most homes wouldn't take more than 2 kids. Adrien listened, asked questions, and offered to help make calls to potential foster families. You'd do that? Maya asked. Of course, if it helps them stay together. Another evening, he met her at the courthouse after a difficult hearing. A placement had fallen through, and Maya was devastated. Adrien was waiting in the hallway with her favorite coffee order. How did you know I'd be here? She asked. You mentioned it yesterday. I wanted to be here in case you needed support. They sat on a bench in the courthouse hallway, and Maya cried on his shoulder while he held her. She introduced him to her work more directly. He met Destiny during a supervised visit and talked about her drawings with genuine interest, asking questions about her artistic process that made the shy girl open up. He played basketball with Marcus at the community center and talked to him about college without being preachy, sharing stories about his own struggles rather than just successes. Adrien learned her coffee order by heart, medium caramel latte with oat milk and an extra shot, and showed up with it on mornings when she had court. He remembered the names of all the children she talked about and asked for updates, celebrating victories and offering comfort during setbacks. One Saturday, they went to a street festival in Maya's neighborhood. Adrien wore jeans and a plain t-shirt, and they ate funnel cake and listened to local bands. "This is nice," Adrien said. "I'm usually at stuffy business dinners where everyone's performing. This feels real." "This is my world," Maya said. "No champagne or presentations, just good music and good people." "I like your world," Adrien said, taking her hand. "I'm falling in love with your world." Maya's heart skipped at the implication. On their fourth official date, they went to an upscale restaurant downtown. As they were leaving, a middle-aged black man in an expensive suit approached. "Mr. Holt," the man said with unusual deference. "Thank you again for your guidance on the Henderson merger. Your insights were invaluable. The deal closed last week." "I'm glad it worked out, Michael," Adrien said politely but coolly. "Are you coming to the shareholder meeting next month? Everyone's eager to hear about the expansion plans for Holt Global Holdings." Maya's heart stopped. She excused herself to the bathroom. Once inside a stall, she pulled out her phone with shaking hands and searched Adrian Holt. Adrian Holt, founder and CEO of Holt Global Holdings, estimated net worth over $3 billion. Forbes, Black Enterprise, Fortune. Photos at charity events, business conferences, meeting the president, one of the most influential black executives in America under 40. She stared at her phone. This billionaire had spent the last month eating pizza in her cramped apartment, playing cards with foster kids, listening to her complain about affording new tires. When she returned, her hands shook. "Why didn't you tell me?" Maya asked, barely above a whisper. "All this time, you let me complain about money problems, about struggling to make rent. And you're a billionaire? I told you I had to wait until payday to buy work shoes. Do you know how humiliating this is?" Adrien's expression shifted to something vulnerable. "Because I wanted you to know me, not my net worth," he said quietly. "Please, let me explain. Every woman I've dated has been interested in what I have, not who I am. They see dollar signs before they see me. They change their entire personalities to match what they think I want." He leaned forward. "You asked me to pretend at that gala. I've spent the last month falling in love with you for real, and I didn't want my wealth to change how you saw me. I didn't want you to start second-guessing every word or wondering if you were good enough. I just wanted to be Adrien, the guy who thinks you're amazing." Tears pricked Maya's eyes, but anger flared too. "You should have told me. I've been completely honest with you about everything, my struggles, my tiny apartment, my student loans, and you've been hiding this huge part of who you are." "I never lied," Adrien said. "I told you I run a company. I just didn't specify which one or how big. I didn't lie, Maya. I just didn't tell you everything all at once." "Is there a difference?" Maya stood. "I need time to think about this." "Maya, please. I need space, Adrien." She left, heart breaking, mind spinning. 3 days of unanswered calls, then Destiny asked during a home visit, "Where's Mr. Adrien?" I made him a drawing. Maya's heart clenched. "We're taking a break, sweetie." "Why?" He was nice. He actually listened when I talked about my art. Most grown-ups just say, "That's nice," and ignore me. Marcus said something similar at the community center. Mr. Holt hasn't been around? Everything okay? I liked talking to him. He didn't judge me or act like he had all the answers. That evening, Adrien showed up at her door. "Please," he said, eyes red-rimmed. "Just hear me out. If you still want me to leave after, I will." Maya let him in. They sat on her couch, and Adrien began to talk. "I was in foster care," he said quietly. "I entered the system at 6 when my mother died of cancer and my father disappeared. I was in 12 homes in 10 years. Most were terrible. People who did it for the monthly check." Maya's breath caught. "One home," his voice cracked. "I slept in a closet, literally. They rented out the bedroom to another family and put a sleeping bag in the hallway closet for me. The door didn't lock. I kept my shoes on in case I needed to run." Maya's hand flew to her mouth. "Another home. The foster dad hit me for getting a B on a test. Left bruises I had to hide. I learned to make myself invisible, to not ask for anything, to expect nothing from anyone." He stared at his hands. "When I was 16, I landed with Mrs. Eleanor Williams. She lived alone, and she noticed things. Noticed I was good at math. She sat with me at her kitchen table every night, helping with homework. Had this yellow tablecloth with little flowers on it. I can still smell her lavender hand lotion from when she'd lean over to check my work." Tears streamed down Maya's face. She came to my high school graduation, only person in the audience there for me. I remember scanning the crowd, seeing her in the third row wearing this purple church hat, waving at me. I almost lost it right there on stage. He looked up. "She helped me get a scholarship to college. I studied business and computer science, worked 3 jobs, built my first company in my dorm room. Sold it for $20 million at 24, used that to start Holt Global Holdings. And I never forgot where I came from." His eyes met hers. "That gala where we met? I funded it. I started the Silvercrest Foundation to support foster care programs, provide scholarships for aged-out youth, and fund social worker training because I wanted other kids to have what Mrs. Williams gave me, someone who believed in them. But I don't publicize my personal connection because it's not about me. It's about the kids." Maya couldn't speak. She reached for his hand. "When you told me about your work that first night, I wanted to fall at your feet. You're doing what I wished someone had done for me. And I wanted to hear your perspective without influencing it. You know what works because you see it every day." He squeezed her hand. "And I wanted you to see that I valued what you did for its own sake. Not because your work reminds me of my past. When I'm with you, I'm thinking about how your laugh sounds and how you remember every detail about your kids and how you cry during commercials, but pretend you don't. You should have trusted me with the truth," Maya said. "All of it. From the beginning." "You're right," Adrien admitted. "I was scared. Scared you'd change once you knew. Scared I'd lose the only genuine connection I've had in years. But I should have trusted you. I'm sorry, Maya." Maya looked at him. "I fell for the man who brought me soup when I was sick and sat with me while I cried about a placement that fell through. I fell for the person who remembered Marcus's basketball game and showed up to cheer. But I need complete honesty from here on out." "I promise," Adrien said. "No more secrets, just us. The real us." Maya leaned into him. "Tell me more about Mrs. Williams. I want to know everything." They talked until 3 in the morning. "She passed 5 years ago," Adrien said. "I gave the eulogy, told everyone she saved my life. The Silvercrest Foundation is named after her street, Silvercrest Avenue. That's where she lived, where she taught me that I mattered." "I wish I could have met her," Maya said. she would have loved you. She always said the people who change the world are the ones who show up every day and do the hard work nobody else wants to do. That's you, Maya. Over the next few days, they talked more. One evening, as they sat in Maya's apartment, she brought up something that had been bothering her. "We need to talk about boundaries," Maya said. "About your money and what that means for us." Adrien nodded. "I'm listening." Maya took a deep breath. "I need to know that my work, my struggles, my independence, they're still mine. I don't want you swooping in to fix everything or make my problems disappear with a checkbook. That's not a partnership. That's a rescue mission." "Understood," Adrien said seriously. "So here's what I need," Maya continued. "I pay my own rent. I buy my own groceries. I handle my own student loans. If I complain about my car, I'm venting, not asking you to buy me a new one." "Okay. But," Maya said, her voice softening, "if we're going to build something real, I need to be able to accept help sometimes without feeling like I'm failing or like I owe you. So if you want to bring takeout when I'm working late, that's okay. If you want to contribute to a date night, that's okay. If there's an emergency, real emergency, I need to know I can ask without it changing the power dynamic between us." Adrien took her hands. "I hear you, and I agree. Your independence is part of who you are, and I wouldn't want to take that away. But I also want to be able to take care of you sometimes, in ways that feel like partnership, not charity." "Exactly," Maya said. "What about your work?" Adrien asked. "The foundation supports programs. If that overlaps with what you're doing, how do we handle that?" "We keep it separate," Maya said firmly. "If the foundation wants to support the agency I work for, that goes through proper channels with the board. You don't use your money to influence my cases or solve problems I'm working through the system. I need to know my wins are mine." "Absolutely," Adrien agreed. "Your work is yours. I won't interfere with your professional judgment or try to shortcut the system." "And one more thing," Maya said. "I don't want to be your charity project or your redemption arc. I'm not here to heal your childhood wounds. I'm here because I love you. But you need to be dealing with your past in healthy ways." Adrien nodded slowly. "That's fair. I have a therapist I see monthly. Maybe I should go more often." "Maybe we both should," Maya said. "This is a lot to navigate. Your wealth, my work, our pasts. We might need help." "I'd like that," Adrien said. "Couples therapy, to make sure we're building something healthy." Maya felt relief wash over her. "Thank you for hearing me, for not getting defensive." "Thank you for being clear about what you need," Adrien said. "I'd rather know your boundaries than stumble across them in the dark." They sat in comfortable silence for a moment. "So, we're really doing this?" Maya asked. "If you'll have me," Adrien said. "I'll have you," Maya smiled. "The real you. Closet sleeping, kitchen table homework, purple church hat you." Adrien kissed her. "And I'll have you. Tiny apartment, soul food loving, saves the world one kid at a time you." Over the following months, their relationship deepened within the boundaries they'd set. Adrien was true to his word about honesty and respecting Maya's independence. Maya learned to accept care without feeling like she was losing herself. One Saturday, Adrien surprised her. "I want to take you somewhere important to me. Will you come?" He drove them to a group home on the outskirts of the city, a well-maintained building with a playground and basketball courts. "This is one of the homes the foundation supports. They're having their annual summer picnic today. I thought you might want to come. Maybe bring Destiny and Marcus." Maya's heart swelled. She made calls, and soon they arrived at a nearby park where dozens of foster children were gathering. Adrien had arranged for food trucks, games, face painting, a DJ, and activities. But he didn't stand apart. He jumped right in. He played basketball with teenagers, pushed younger kids on swings, judged a hula hoop competition, and sat with a shy boy of about 8. She watched him kneel to the boy's level, talking quietly. Later, she asked what they'd discussed. He said he doesn't think anyone will ever want to adopt him because he's too old and too quiet. Adrien said, I told him that someone wanted me, even when I was 16 and had given up hope. I told him his quietness isn't a flaw. It means he's thoughtful. I gave him my email and said he could write any time. Destiny ran up, breathless and happy. Face painted like a butterfly. This is the best day ever. Mr. Adrien got a snow cone truck. Marcus approached with a rare smile. He's cool, the teenager said, nodding toward Adrien, who was now helping set up the volleyball. He doesn't talk down to us, treats us like real people. Maya watched Adrien laughing with a group of kids, his jeans dusty from kneeling in grass, his watch forgotten as he focused entirely on making these children feel seen and valued. She realized something. This wasn't about his money or guilt about his past. This was about a man who remembered what it felt like to be forgotten. And he was determined these children would know they mattered. As the sun set, Adrien found Maya on a bench. Thank you for coming, he said. Thank you for bringing me, she replied, for letting me see this. This is what it's all about, Adrien said, gesturing to the children. Not the galas or board meetings. This. Making sure they know someone cares. Maya took his hand. I love you. I think I have since that first dance, but now I know why. You don't just write checks. You show up. You remember names. You see them. I love you too, Adrien said. You've taught me what these kids really need, not just money, but advocates who fight for them every day. You've made me want to be better. 6 months after that first desperate encounter, Adrien proposed at another Silvercrest Foundation event. Maya wore a custom emerald green gown that made her feel like royalty. He got down on one knee in the same ballroom where panic had led her to a stranger's arms. You asked me to pretend for those first few minutes, Adrien said. I want to spend the rest of my life proving I don't have to pretend at all. Will you marry me, Maya Brooks? Maya said yes through happy tears. Across the ballroom, Ryan Carter quietly slipped out. At their wedding 9 months later in a garden venue, Destiny served as junior bridesmaid in purple. She'd been successfully adopted, and Maya had been there for every step. Marcus, now 18 and in college on a Silvercrest scholarship, walked Maya down the aisle. Adrien's vows made everyone cry. She needed someone to pretend. I got a lifetime of real. She saw past the surface to who I am, and she loved that person, just Adrien, the scared foster kid who thought he'd never have a real family. Maya spoke through tears. You could have walked away when a stranger asked for a crazy favor. Instead, you stayed. You saw me. You taught me that real love doesn't pretend. It shows up. After the ceremony, Destiny hugged Maya. You found your forever family, she whispered, just like you helped me find mine. As the reception continued, Maya and Adrien stood together, watching their guests. Foster children, social workers, business executives, and Mrs. Williams' daughter, who had flown in from across the country. Thank you for saying yes that night, Maya whispered. Thank you for being brave enough to ask, Adrien Aster replied. That first borrowed courage became forever. Epilogue. 3 years later, Maya and Adrian stood at the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the Maya Brooks Center for Foster Care Excellence, a state-of-the-art training facility. This center exists because someone took a chance on a desperate woman at a gala, Maya told the crowd. It offers a 24-week trauma-informed practicum for new social workers, peer support cohorts, and evidence-based training that's already improved our mentor-to-graduation persistence rate by 18%. Destiny, now 12 and thriving, stood in the front row. Marcus, a college junior studying social work, stood beside her. That first moment of courage can change everything, Maya concluded. Adrian squeezed her hand, both thinking of that panic-stricken moment that had led them here. To purpose, to family, to forever. Sometimes you just have to trust a stranger in a ballroom and see where it leads.